All right, we are getting going. We're going to do a quick check across our platforms to make sure that we are live. Yep, we are live on Twitter. We are live on Twitch. Can somebody just make sure the video is feeding into Discord? We're all live on YouTube. And hopefully in the next couple weeks, we will not need to check this every time. I do not think we are on, or maybe it went to an announcement channel. Nope. Okay. If somebody can get us posted, get the Twitch posted into Whalemaker DAO Discord and Alpha Chat Discord, that would be great. Ways, welcome, General. We are live for our just make sure that's muted. All right, let's go ahead and kick off. If you haven't seen a copy of the weekly Alpha Report, it is being dropped right now into Discord. And that should go in the announcement channel. Mark, make sure you have access to the announcement channel so that you can post this. I would like to drop it as a DocuSend going forward instead of a Google Drive link. And with that, let's kick off. So this week's Alpha Report is going to be anchored by a really exciting opportunity. But before we get into that, let's go over our disclaimers. Nothing I'm going to talk about today is considered to be financial advice, legal advice, or accounting advice. I highly recommend that you talk to your attorney, your CPA, or your financial planner before making any decisions to participate in any of the projects we're going to talk about today. Most of this, in fact, all of this is based on personal opinion. I will tell you when I'm buying something so that you know that I'm actually committed to it. Or even if the offer is great, I might say that I'm not in it and use that however you like. In fact, if you're smart, you won't listen to a single thing I say, and you'll go about your day making your own decisions, living your own happy life, and finding success in doing so. With that, let's jump into our weekly Alpha. Super excited to have partnered with the team at Collect, who are dropping the first Power Rangers licensed IP project into the NFT sphere. The drop is 3 weeks from now. We have put some whitelist spots into the Seeking Alpha server for the general community. We've also put some whitelist spots for our Alpha whale shark holders. If you go over to the current, the Collect Discord server, link is in the report. They're also giving away whitelist over there. So there's a couple different ways for you to get on this whitelist. And I highly recommend you take advantage of this one. I am definitely in on it. I know that they've got some big partnerships coming. You're going to see them on some major podcasts. Now is the time to get this. There are only 2,000 whitelist spots available. The mint is happening on Polygon, no gas fees, and the price is ridiculous. So you can get a common pack for $8, and you can get a premium pack for $40, and it's all being done on Matic. It's going to sell out instantly, and these whitelist spots are going to be crazy valuable to make sure that you get in on this first drop. Now, there are going to be 4 drops, but the super early bird, which is what we have whitelist for right now, also gets you a 20% discount on price. You really can't beat that. So make sure that you're in the Seeking Alpha server. And team, if you can drop the link to that in our Twitter stream.
It's already there.
Well, they dropped the link to the Collect server, but we should also drop the link to the Alpha server because we're giving away whitelist over there.
I dropped the Seeking Alpha one. I didn't drop the. It's in the chat. You see it?
in Twitter?
Oh, I'm sorry. On Restream. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah. We want to get it into, let's make it a tweet to Bruno. If you're listening, well, I know you're listening. Let's get that chatted as well. All right. I'm super excited about Power Rangers, so we led with that one. All right. So that one's coming to you from Collect. The next one, immediately following this call, we are going to be doing an AMA with Mech.game. Tanner Larson is an OG of the marketing and crypto space. This project, like the craziest thing, he actually turned down a major investor because he didn't realize who they were. I'm not going to say their name on a call, but it was kind of a funny story that, like, after he turned them down, he started talking to people and they're like, dude, if they invest, your game is as good as gold because they're going to bring the heat and everybody's going to want to invest after them. So he waited. They came back to him with even a better offer and he closed them. So Mech.game is a 3D tower defender game. And we're going to be seeing some demos and a slide deck presentation on this that is super, super sick. And we're going to be giving away some whitelists on that call. I believe there's also some whitelist available in the Seeking Alpha chat for both. And I don't think we dropped any for whale shark holders yet, but I will. Mech.game, whale sharks, whitelist. I think we've got 5 for them that we need to drop. On the AMA, we're going to drop a couple whitelists to the Twitter sphere. So make sure you're following along and you'll see us restreaming just like we're doing now. We are going to see some of the gameplay and we're going to talk a little bit about the tokenomics of the platform, which are pretty cool. All right. After that, blockchain space. This is pretty awesome. They have more data on the P2E guild space than anyone else. They're following 10,000 guilds and over 1 million P2E players. And what they've created is a weekly report that shows you exactly which projects have the best ROI in the P2E space. So if you're a guild owner and you want to be playing the games that provide the best value to your scholars, you're going to want to get this weekly report. If you are a investor, you're going to want to know where the guild owners are going because that's going to give you the alpha to profit. And I'm sorry, I need to put this over here because we got questions coming in. Okay. You can ask questions if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitch and you type a question, it's going to come back to us and we'll be able to answer them live on the call. So please, if you have questions, send them over. In order to get access to this weekly P2E Alpha report, you'll need to own $200 in guild token. It's a good investment either way, but get this alpha, join their Discord, follow the instructions on how to get the tokens and to verify so that you can get this alpha report next week. It's going to be a powerful report each week that's going to drive value for investors and guild owners and P2E players alike. If you are a P2E player, you probably want to go over there and figure out which games it is that your guild should be offering. Next, Game Diverse. And I apologize, we just updated all of this. Here's what's really cool about Game Diverse. And this was on the report last week. Join their Discord server. Because they are a gaming platform, they have access to tons of different games and whitelist opportunities and airdrop opportunities, free mint opportunities that you're not going to see anywhere else. You can also buy or claim their GTA token, which is their government's token. And they're offering a Genesis badge right now. Genesis badges in the P2E space are super hot commodities. The Genesis badge for YGG is sold for as much as 25 Ethereum and is averaging 3 or 4 Ethereum right now. There's a limited supply of these. And once you have one, it's going to entitle you to a lot more access that other people don't get. Keep up the good work, Whale Sharks. So I appreciate that. Latent Freedom. SimWin. So here's something that's really cool about SimWin. Between last week's call and this week's call, they've updated what's going to be in your packs. So SimWin is the sports metaverse. And the first sport that they're launching is football. And their first NFT drop, which is coming towards the end of April, is going to be the player packs. So you can actually become a player agent and own a player that can be drafted by a team. That team may be owned by Jerry Rice, Marshall Faulk, Mike Singletary, Jamie Gold. There's tons of different people, or different sports icons and sporting celebrities that are going to own these teams, and you're going to become part of that ecosystem. The change that they made, and I think that this is pretty badass, is originally the packs were going to have one player, one collectible, and one tournament entry. What they're introducing instead of the collectibles are what are called boosters. So let's say you get a running back in your pack, and you can go out and get a speed booster so that he's faster. And then if they're faster, they're higher probability of getting drafted. The higher you get drafted, the higher potential salary that you're going to get. This is a true P2E where you're going to have so much value from owning players. Super limited. There's only 3,000 total whitelist spots and only 300 XLs, which entitle you to get a pack with 3 players, 3 boosters, 3 tournament entries, and even more importantly, a golden ticket. So that one person who gets a golden ticket is going to have an opportunity to win a sports franchise. They cost $2.5 million. These are not cheap. Imagine winning that. That's pretty awesome. You want to get into the SimWin community. You want to be working to get those whitelist spots. Those whitelist spots are going to be hella valuable, whether you mint or if you try to move them on the secondary market. They're also running a Gleam campaign for some whitelist spots. So if you jump down into the SimWin Sports page, you'll see at the bottom that there is a link for the Gleam campaign, and do those, engage with them across social media and earn those whitelist spots for you. This is going to be big. Next, I just had a great call with Avaric Saga. We're going to be launching their first campaigns for their mini game. These guys have got something special with their tokenomics and how they're doing their P2E economy. If you own an Avaric Saga and you go in and you verify it inside of their Discord, you're going to start earning 3 Vordum tokens today, which are going to have a lot of utility and in-game use cases as their multi-token economy is put together. If you own 3 Avaric Saga NFTs, which are available on OpenSea, you can play their mini game, which are going to have ridiculous prizes for like armor and weapons, and you can really build up your pool of assets as they get closer to their full game launch in Q3. Right now, the Avarics are cheap at 0.05 ETH. They've been as high as 0.12 ETH, so it makes for a decent investment. But also, you want to put 3 of these in your portfolio. You want to go get them verified. And when you have time, play the mini game every once in a while and just be part of the community in lead up to the big community. Or I'm sorry, to the game launch. So, okay, so let's stop for a question. Let's read this. Really interesting. So the game loop is like owning a team or owning players to be drafted. Not sure I understand the whole game loop. Okay, so Alvarez, I believe you're asking about SimWin. And let's take a moment to answer this question because it's important. There's 2 parts. You can own a team. If you own a team, they cost between $2 and $3.5 million. You own the stadium, you own the brand, you own the advertising rights, you earn a percentage of income from fantasy play, from gambling. You then, as a team owner, draft your team. The team is these NFT players. These NFT players are like real professional athletes. They have traits. They have a career path. They play the game. The players and their player managers. So if I mint a player, I'm a player manager. I am that player in the ecosystem. The players earn money based on performance, based on salary, based on secondary sales of merch that uses their likeness. It's no different than the real sports world. It's just being brought into the metaverse. And this is going to be huge. It's backed by all of the investors, not just the big ones, but all of them. Digital Currency Group is involved. Horizon Labs is running a lot of their back ends. Real Engine 5 is the underlying technology. Like, this is done right, and it's going to be huge. There's going to be a streaming channel on cable where you'll actually be able to watch all of these games. There's going to be football, baseball, basketball, cricket, Formula One, boxing. All of these sports are going to come out, and it's just going to be something that you want to be part of. And the first step is a whitelist for the football player drop. Again, very limited, only 3,000 spots available. So you're going to want to work to get those whenever you can. All right, Kyoko. First off, this is a pretty badass platform. As they start to roll out more of their use case and their lending protocols for guild-to-guild lending, financing, and P2E staking, it's going to be pretty amazing. And right now, they are doing some alpha opportunities. Let's talk for a second about what alpha opportunities mean. Every community is doing some type of alpha, right? There's some that are doing it very well. There's some that are just doing it here and there. Kyoko is special in that if the backbone of your business is guilds and the games that the guilds play, then you have the direct relationships with the people that can offer the best alpha. The last week we talked about the Fancy Birds mint and the alpha that was being dropped across communities for whitelist. Every person that jumped in on that is at like a 5 or 8x ROI already. In fact, I haven't looked at it this morning. This is a rough market today. Let's see real quick here. If you would have listened to me last week, Fancy Birds, where are we at? 0.34. So their mint was 0.06. 5. So you're 5.5x. You should have listened last week when I said go mint those. Hopefully you did. But that's the same type of alpha that you're going to see in these communities that have these one-on-one relationships. Go and mint your Kyoko badge. Totally, well, basically free. It costs like 5 cents. And once you have that badge, you're going to get access to their alpha channels and all of the deals that they're bringing out each day. OP Games, their game night is becoming ridiculously popular. Last week, I believe they gave out $1,000 in prizes, and there's a lot of different games you can play. If you really think about it, they're bringing back a lot of those old school games that people grew up with, and then they're doing tournaments around them. So you can have fun and you can win exciting prizes. It's pretty cool. I would go over and check it out. There's a lot more that they're going to be doing with these games in the future. You're going to see that a lot of these people or these projects, my apologies, are laying a foundation for a lot of future opportunity. So getting into the communities, checking out what they're doing now, and just sticking around for the different things that they launch. It's like going to the arcade, but playing with your wallet. It's pretty, I like it. YGGSEA, they are going to be pushing their founders badge. And in order to get it, you're going to have to be a very engaged member in the community. For those of you that are listening to this call and that are OGs from the YGGSEA community, meaning you are either badge holders, scholars, community members, community managers, you are going to have a great opportunity to get the founders badge. And it's going to be very similar to the YGG badge, but with more value because they've got a roadmap now for what worked and what didn't. So go over there, become part of the community, get engaged, ask them, like, what do I got to do to get a founder's badge? They're looking for content creators, KOLs, influencers. YGGSEA is another one of those guilds that has a relationship with like 35 different games. When you have relationships with games inside of guilds, whenever the games have something that they want to get into the market, the first place they go is their guilds. Those guilds can then give away those assets, or they can give away whitelist or pre-sale opportunities to get them. Check it out. You won't be sorry. Whalemaker DAO. If you're watching this call, the Seeking Alpha room or Seeking Alpha group is an extension of the Whalemaker DAO. And it was designed to funnel the alpha that we can create in the market back to our whale shark owners. The best thing that you can do is mint a whale shark. The mint is still open. And from there, you can see in the Seeking Alpha, 19 of our whale sharks that come over, they get this report a day before everybody else. And because they get it a day before, they can take advantage of the opportunities that are in this report and get into the projects before we tell everybody else what projects to get into. There's no better alpha than being early. Fancy Birds is still on here. Unfortunately, you missed it. The Genesis is out. The reveal is done. The rarities are out. Now, they do have staking in place. So you should look at their website to get a better idea of what their tokenomics are, their staking models, and breeding is about to launch. And it's going to require that you have tokens that come from staking. So you definitely want to get in there if you want to breed. The first drop was Genesis Collection. They are going to be the breedable assets, and those are going to create the ecosystem for their P2E game. And lastly is a disclosure. So if you really want to read that, feel free. I give you a little disclosure at the beginning, but none of this is investment advice. This is all just my personal opinion. Let's see. Do we have any questions floating around from the market? Our audience. Got a good number of viewers, which is awesome. Great drops on conversations. Rock and roll. Okay, let's check Discord. Any questions over here? Ooh, what book are you reading currently? I have not spent as much time reading recently as I would like. On my nightstand is a book about Machiavelli, and it's interesting. And I've been reading this for like a month because I just haven't spent the time doing it. That talks about it walks you through the history of the world while showing his involvement in each individual element. So most books are written the opposite. It's about his involvement in the history of the world at that time. But instead, they're just talking about the macro of what's going on in the Renaissance period and then how he interjected into it. You're okay. We've got a question about broader markets. They're a mess right now. Some people believe that we're on the precipice of World War III. At the very least, we're definitely going to see, I'm just checking markets real quick, significant pressure. The markets aren't, and I'm talking about public US markets, aren't down terribly. I think a lot of this has already been baked in. You're going to see energy prices skyrocket, and anytime you affect the general population's spending capabilities, you're going to see downward pressure on secondary assets. So crypto definitely being one of them. The question I always get is this a buying opportunity? I never know. It really comes down to what your risk tolerance is. There is the idea of, trying to catch a falling knife. You really don't know where in the thread it is. There's also the last little pop in crypto that we saw maybe 7 or 8 days ago. Many people were saying it's a dead cat bounce. That's a investment, I don't want to call it term, but the idea being that you see these little bounces in price and people think it's a recovery and they start to buy in, but there's really no reason for the recovery. So the cat bounces instead of landing on its feet because it's dead, and you react however you're going to react to it. All right. So I'm trying to go through questions everywhere I can find them. Jordan, do you see any questions anywhere else?
I don't see them from Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook.
Awesome. Great conversation going on over in Twitch. All right. So last chance for questions on this week's Alpha Report. If not, we will see you in 30 minutes back here on all of the same channels for our AMA with game.mech. And we're going to be giving away some whitelist on Twitter. We're going to be giving away some whitelist in Discord for the general population in Seeking Alpha. And we're also going to be giving away whitelists to our whale shark holders over in the Seeking Alpha server. And everybody, I want to put a final thought in there. I was almost about to say bye. I've always done, or I've typically done, a final rant on these calls. The markets suck. Simwin Discord is closed. Dumb question, but do you have a working link? Yeah, that would be great for our team to fix that because their Discord is not closed. So if someone can get a link and make sure that when they grab it, that they don't forget to change the settings to non-expire, that would be great, and get that populated right away into our feed. What is happening in the market needs to happen, but you have to understand what is happening. It's less about Russia invading the Ukraine and the crypto side. Of course, that does put down a little bit of pressure, but it's no different than 2017 with the ICO craze. We need to, as a market and as an industry, flush out all of the shitty NFT projects that came to market, and more importantly, the shitty P2E projects that came to market with bad economics or tokenomics. It's going to take some while to flush all of those out, and they're going to become completely and utterly worthless. What you have on the other side of that, though, is many, many, many games that have great financial backing, that are building games that people want to play, that'll now have an understanding with that the tokenomics of the first generation of P2E wasn't sustainable. And as many of those try to adjust, not all of them will succeed. So you're going to have to make decisions. There could be a dry spell for a while. Now, what could be a positive catalyst into all of that? We are all still waiting for the Coinbase NFT marketplace to drop. But if they were going to drop it, they should have dropped it when OpenSea was getting their ass handed to them with that hack. Well, hack is wrong, with that phishing attack. And they probably won't drop in a depressed down market. Now, I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm not inside their offices. So they could do whatever the hell they want and have many, many reasons for doing it. But we are going to see we're already seeing a slowdown. I started telling people around Thanksgiving that this was going to happen and went cash and have been buying NFT assets along the way in the P2E games that I think are going to make it, knowing that my liquidity in those games is a year out if I don't go into a DeFi platform that provides that. Now, question, any thoughts on the Karaba P2E project? No, we're not involved in it. None of our guilds are involved in it. We're not investors in it. And that's typically like, if we're not investors in it, or results.io isn't doing their marketing, or if one of our guilds isn't playing it, then we don't even know that it exists. With that being said, can someone on our team check to see if any of our guilds are playing that and that they've added it recently without us knowing? That would be YGGSEA. Check there first. And if they're not there, then don't worry about it, because they're going to lead with the best projects. Awesome questions. I appreciate the conversation. It always makes this so much more fun. The things that you should do today: get over into the Collect server to start working towards those Power Ranger whitelists. Get into the Seeking Alpha server to get some of the whitelists that we're giving away. Go straight into giveaways. Look at all of the different opportunities that they have. And then mint a whale shark. Come into our whale shark alpha, and you're going to get just as much opportunity in that chat without having to work against 6,000 or 10,000 people. So I appreciate y'all. I will see you in 30 minutes on the mech.game AMA. Peace.